It's such a great pleasure to see Mira Nair. What an accomplished director after quite a long time on Showbiz India. Welcome.
Very happy to be here, Reshma. Hello, Showbiz India.
You've outdone yourself. What a treat this was. Obviously, this has got to have taken a lot of time and effort. It's such a layered story of interpersonal relationships of every form: romance, gay love, mother daughter, father son, and also the political climate. Tell me the process.
It is based on Vikram Seth's great masterpiece, Suitable Boy, which is, a real uh, tome of India in 1950s preparing for its first national election. It's a story that crosses across four families, elite families and rural families, and at the heart of it is a mother trying to find a suitable boy for her last unmarried daughter. And she's a widow and feels defenseless. And, but I loved this novel. And it was about, it's an idealistic time. India had just achieved its independence from the British. And even though we still dreamt in English and were very much anglicized worlds in India, which is a large part of our story, it was a time to make and get to know our own country. And at the heart of our story is Lata. It's also a coming of age story of many young people, but two principally. Lata, whose mother seeks to get her married, but she has her own ideas. And Maan, who's sort of the son of a minister and a wastrel, or regarded as such, but electrically charming and magnetic and the best bad boy in town. So it's a coming of age of these two young people in several milieus. At a time when the country itself is coming of age. So that's what I love about, the privilege of having to make a suitable boy. So it was a very long 3-year process. We've just finished, and very happy to see the reception it has received in the world.
One of the things that really stood out for me was the casting of this film. My God, it was like on point. Every Lata, the beautiful big eyes, the simplicity of hers. Tabu seems like she was born to play,
Yes.
Saida Bai. So were you very personally involved with the casting?
Of course, I'm the director of the film, and casting is the lifeblood of any work. And I'm, love actors, and every single one of the 105 actors in the film has been chosen and cast by me, but with the extraordinary help of these amazing casting directors who scoured all over India, Dilip Shankar and Nandini Shrikant and Karan Mali. But then each one had to be vetted right from, to Vikram to the BBC. Everyone had to approve of each one, but they did, and they were just brilliant. And actually, a lot of the actors were originally started their careers in Monsoon Wedding. Vijay Raz and Randeep Hooda and Ram Kapoor even, and several people. And several are actors I've just loved for so long, like Rasika Dugal or Vivan Shah, or, so many people. And they all said yes to come to the party. Vijay Varma. I mean, these are all real stars now in India, and they were all supporting ensemble roles that they were fantastic in, but completely gave themselves to. So it's a bounty really of talent in the subcontinent, and it's a real chance to see them. And Lata, Tanya Maniktala, pretty much a newcomer who played Lata, I mean, she was a extraordinary discovery. I call her a dewdrop in action. She has the innocence of not seeing the world, but absolute self-possession of that intelligence, while having a look that is so extraordinary and very much like the world is yet to come to her, yet to, not that she's been there and done that, which is a lot of the quality of young ladies these days. Tanya was a great find, and as was several, the young man who played Kabir, Danish Razvi. I mean, he was just, he really was like from the 50s in terms of his correctness and his refinement and so on. Lata is so, that's why I love her, that she's not going to be chui mui about something that is uncomfortable, despite her propriety, despite her well brought up demeanor and so on. She is going to be who her heart tells her to be, which is full of fire and resistance.
I'm going to talk to you real quick about something a little bit more heavier, since you did bring up Monsoon Wedding. And I love that movie as well. And the one thing I did notice that you handle very beautifully, it's uncomfortable to watch, but you do it, is the sexually molestation scene. And I think it's so important as a young woman for women like you who we look up to address this, because obviously it exists in most families, if not families. You talk to me about how you would tell young ladies to handle this when it happens to them, and if it happens to them.
I guess for me, it's about revealing a situation that feels real and not gratuitous, and it's all about the point of view. Whose point of view are you making that scene for? Is it for the girl, or is it for the predator? So it's not that I love to look at that, but it's just that the not looking at the underbelly of life does not mean that it will go away. That that is part of life, and so I like to bring it into the open. And this, again, just to remind you, Insutable Boy is Vikram Seth's imagination as well, and very much a reflection of that incredible patriarchal society, especially in that time that we come from, where the guy is the lord of the house and no one questions. Everyone knows what's what, but no one dare challenge, the way that it is.
So there's so many layers to
Yes.
to the series in every situation we haven't even touched on. I thought another brilliant performance was Ishan's performance.
Yes,
he was fantastic in the film. And his love for a courtesan, completely taboo, obviously.
Yes.
That was a beautiful find himself.
Yes, he was magnetic and just really one of the great actors of our time. I think he will become. He's just so magnetic is the word for him, and utterly charming rascal with great skill. That's the role he's playing, and he's so. Is just amazing, his performance and him.
Are you satisfied now that you see it, and has Vikram seen it? I believe he must have seen it as well.
Yeah. I mean, actually, to be honest, I have not seen it since I finished it, which was end of August, September.
Must watch it.
I'm going to watch it here because it hasn't played in America. I'm in New York,
Right.
But yeah, I'll see it. But I am happy. I was given the privilege, really, of making it, and I'm very heartened by the response from the world so far.
I literally binge watched it, and it was like that book you can't keep down. It was
good.
I couldn't stop watching.
That's really good. And I think in the lockdown also, to be taken on an immersive journey like we take you on is a welcome thing.
Mira, and in conclusion, I'd like to touch upon another subject that you had touched upon years ago with your film Mississippi Masala, which I loved very much. We are very active in the BLM movement, and you touched upon such a pertinent topic, which is even today, about how Black Lives Matter. And unfortunately, some of our cultural South Asians actually have prejudices against Black people. And I would love to hear your thoughts about what is going around in the world right now.
Well, number one, I'm very happy to tell you that we are re-releasing Mississippi Masala, 30 years anniversary next year, 2021, all over. And really, for me, it's a kind of an anthem to Kamala Harris. And she, for me, is like a child of Mississippi Masala. So I just want to give you the good news that everybody, and the young especially of today, are asking for this film. Many have never seen it, but it reflects so much of what we are insisting on and fighting for today, after years of it not being addressed at all, So what can I say? The racism and prejudice within our own hearts is an old, ancient thing, and it's so important and to regard it and to question it, and to also then again be reminded that we are really alike. Everyone is alike, and there is no question that that of us and them. And but to address it in the way that Sunita Arapurwala also did in her beautiful script of Mississippi Masala, to address it with lightness as well, and humor, and how we really are also, how we talk, and also the pain of it, the desperate pain of it. So yeah, I mean, I've been engaged in this, call it the hierarchy of color, like I do, since I ever came to this country, when I was a 19-year-old student, and felt, that I was accessible as a brown person to black and white, but there were invisible lines everywhere, in some senses. And to question that, and to actually rail against it, but to question it, was what drove us to make Mississippi Masala. And it has been very moving for me to see how BLM and Black Lives Matter and have become now common to our reality. That's just amazing. It's like a civic rising, that we don't want more of this. And that's been extraordinarily moving to be a part of that today here in New York City. But I think the world will change for it.
Wonderful. It's always such a pleasure speaking with you. You're one of my favorite directors.
Thank you so much, Reshma.
And I wish you
Thank you so much.
success. And I can't wait to see Mississippi Masala again.
Yes, and all its lustrous beauty.
Yeah, and I want my daughter to watch it.
Oh, exactly. It holds up, I have to say.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you have a wonderful day. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Bye. Bye.